Okay, we'll reconvene 5:12. Okay, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Trustee Cooley.
Please bow your heads for a moment of silent prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cooley. And now, one of a few recesses, as we switch back and forth. For reception, you want to do? By all means, Superintendent Bennett.
Well, we're very fortunate tonight. We're not fortunate to be having them step off the board, but we want to honor a couple of our board members that served our community for a number of years, and we want to recognize them for their hard work for our district. I'm going to start out with Trustee Edward Agundes, sitting right here. He's been a member of the Paris Union High School District Board of Trustees for the past 4 years. He's been serving the Nuevo, Romaland, and kind of East Paris area. Before that, he was superintendent for the Paris Elementary District for 7 years. In all, Trustee Agundes spent 21 years in his role as a superintendent. That's a long time to be a superintendent. And 38 years in the education field. His previous experience at college administration had given him a diverse background experience that has given him some unique perspectives in the education field. After well over 40 years of marriage to his wife, Lala, she deserves to have him more than we do now.
46, by the way.
Yes, I didn't have the exact numbers, so I put more than 40.
Well over 40.
The families in the Paris Union High School District have been fortunate to have Mr. Agundes serve them so well, and the entire district is better off due to his efforts. I personally owe Edward a debt of gratitude for his confidence in me, and I will miss having him as part of our district. Thank you, Mr. Agundes, for everything you've done for the Paris Union High School District.
Well, I've had a lot of fun while I've been on this board. I really enjoyed working with the staff and my colleagues here. I see Bill's over there. When I first came, he was a president. Yeah, he's a fun guy to work with. Appreciate you being here tonight. But I appreciate each and every one of you that has made this job a lot easier. Lori and Sarah, you're the ones. The truth be told, they're the ones that make this happen. They organize it and make us look good, and so they're always on the job. They're second to none. So thank you for all your efforts. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you. Grant is going to be running this ship, or he's already running it. So I feel real good. I can go home and sleep, and know that you're in good hands with this leader. So Grant is a wonderful person. So thank you.
Our second trustee that's stepping down from the board or chose not to run this time is Trustee Joan Cooley. She's been a member of the Paris Union High School District Board of Trustees for the past 13 years. Joan taught in the Paris Union High School District for 10 years before her retirement. She's been a staunch advocate for the students of PUHSD and a huge supporter of the FFA programs within our district. Joan carried on a passion that her late husband, Dr. Robert Cooley, had for students and has been a voice of reason for many years. Joan's son, Nick, is a math teacher at Paloma Valley High School, and her daughter, Christy, was a former teacher at Paloma Valley High School, so the district ties run deep. Joan enjoys traveling and has traveled worldwide. Joan's love for the Paris Union High School District and her institutional knowledge will be sorely missed. Joan has been in my corner from day one, and I've always appreciated her support. The Paris Union High School District, students, and community have been lucky to have you serve us And then we say thank you and good luck in your full retirement. Thank you, Joan.
I have been the lucky one to be able to be on the board and enjoy all of you. And since my husband passed away, you all became so much like family. And I'm glad you put up with me for so long. And I will enjoy my retirement. I'm going to have a poker game on Wednesday nights on the third Wednesday night, I guess. But anyway, thanks so much. And I'm not leaving forever. I will keep that third Wednesday night open so I can come back and hover around the district and put in my 2 cents worth. Thank you.
And so we're going to take a few minutes for reception. We have cupcakes brought in by Paris High School, correct? All right, awesome. They always make great stuff. And we'll probably go for about 20 minutes, and we'll restart then. Thanks. All right. We'll come back to order at 5:34. Hope everybody got a chance to have a cupcake. Looks like there are still a few left if anybody wants extras. Okay, we'll continue with revision adoption. I'm sorry. I think I jumped the gun here. I did. Okay. We will now recess the regular meeting to go to CMI. We will close it, recess at 5:30. So we'll reconvene the regular board meeting at 5:53. We'll continue with the revision adoption ordering of the agenda. Do I have a motion? Any questions? Anything needs to be changed? No? Okay, please vote. Thank you. Report out of closed session?
No report this evening.
Thank you. Okay, district update by the superintendent.
Well, I have a few things I wanted to go over, but we were able to honor our board members that are leaving. I want to introduce the 2 new board members that will be taking their seats this evening. Back in the far corner, taking Joan Cooley's seat will be Anthony Stafford. We want to welcome. We call him Tony, but we all call him Tony, but his real name's Anthony. And then we also have Edward Garcia. He'll be taking Mr. Agundez's store. We look forward to both of them joining our board in the near future. October 21st, we were lucky we had County Superintendent Ken Young come and visit our district. We came and met with us at the district office, and we took him on a tour of a couple schools. We took him to Pinacati Middle School to see what they're doing in the coding classes and in some of their ELD classes, the program they're doing there. Then we took him down to Palomini. He was able to see the engineering classes. And I'm trying to think what else we took him to. Makerspace and the auto technology program. So it was good to have him here and get to show off to him, even though he's retiring in a couple months. But it was good to have him here and show him what we have going on. October 27th, and you'll hear more about this later, we had the district college fair at Heritage High School. Very well attended, great event, but I don't want to steal their thunder, so I'll just say that we had it. November 3rd, the city of Paris held a career fair at the Bob Glass Gym. And it was a real career technical education focus, more of the trades. A lot of trades were there. We probably had 300 students. I think we took 300 students from all of our schools on buses. It may be not the college-bound kids, but the kids that are looking for other avenues. And we were able to, they had probably 25, 30 different groups there, some of them, some union, pipe fitters and all those different things. But it was good to expose our kids to some other options that are out there. And it was great, the collaboration between us and the city to pull that off. November 4th was the Menifee Bowl number 7. It was, and I'm not going to steal, I know they're going to talk about that, or Heritage will talk about it. I don't think Paloma's going to talk about it. We had a huge crowd. They had a huge crowd there, though. It was standing room only at the stadium. We had Supervisor Ashley there again to give out the award. Kind of a cool thing with our football programs, all 3 comprehensive high schools made the playoffs this year for the first time ever. So it was great to see Paris High get in the playoffs this year and experience that. November 7th, Judy, Candace, and I participated in an emergency management department for the county of Riverside. They had a scenario that they did, a disaster scenario, about a bus getting kind of crushed by a train out in Beaumont, and it was one of our buses. But we got to sit and listen to how we could be better prepared for a major incident like that. There were people from the sheriff's department, a bunch of people from the fire departments and different CAL FIRE and emergency vehicles, and it was a great event, and we were the only district that was there fully participating in the event. So it was kudos to Judy Miller and Candace for getting us involved in that to help us be better prepared as we move forward. November 11th, Joe Williams, Candace, Hector, and I presented at the AXA Awards, AXA Leadership Summit down in San Diego on breaking down silos and presenting our ed specs on how we designed our new high school and the process we use for that, where we step across lines, and even though she may be the business person, jumping in and working with educational options and things like that. So it was a great day to be able to do that and showcase some of the stuff we're doing in our district and learn from other people also. That same night, Judy Miller was honored as the State Classified Administrator of the Year by AXA. Is Judy here? Judy's not here, but she was a state winner, which is great. Is a great feather in our cap to have that as one of our administrators. November 12th, last Saturday, was the Veterans Day Parade here in Paris, and we heard a little bit about that. The CMI people were there. We had the Heritage Band there. We had Paris High, ROTC involved. And I was cooking breakfast for the VIPs in the American Legion Hall. I do that every year for them. And then they told me I was supposed to be riding in the parade, but I was wearing jeans and a T-shirt, so that I told them maybe next time. I didn't plan that far ahead. I just knew I was cooking. And my last thing, one thing I started when I took over as superintendent is a coffee with the superintendent, and I've been going out. I went to every school in the district so far once, and met with staff and talked with staff about what's happening on campus. And I'm planning on doing that every quarter, going out and having those meetings. Next time I think I'll do an afternoon one where people that can't get there in the morning, maybe they can come in the afternoon and do cookies with the superintendent or something like that. But it was great. That would have to be lunchtime then. Do I have to make the burritos?
No, they're starving. Teachers are starving at the end of the day.
So that's kind of what I've been doing, meeting with all the staffs and anybody that want to come in and talk. And I think it's valuable to give them those avenues to reach out and talk with me. So that's my report for this evening, President Ellison.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Okay, student representatives. I guess I start. From Heritage High School, student representatives Daniela Lopez and Ashley Garcia. Or not. Looks like we have somebody else. Go ahead and tell us who you actually are.
I'm Jose Cordova.
Ashley Garcia. Good evening, Mr. Bennett, members of the Cabinet, President Nelson, and members of the board. My name is Ashley Garcia, and this is Jose Cordova. We'd like to show you some recent happenings at Heritage High School. We hope you enjoyed the pictures and our presentation. We wanted to start off with a few of our celebrations. The Teacher of the Month was Mary Clifton. Classified Staff Member of the Month was Jose Samaripa. Student of the Month was Brandon Chantabandith. Congratulations to our HHS Staff of the Year. Teacher of the Year was Leslie Machado. Rookie Teacher of the Year, Adam Sion. Classified Employee of the Year, Claudia Cruz. Rookie Classified Employee of the Year, Sylvia Sandoval. And Counselor of the Year, Ben Washburn.
Okay, so this morning we did have Road Trip Nation. It's an organization that our AVID program uses. They do it during their sophomore year, and basically this program helps them determine what they want to do in life, like what career they're interested in. And this was something that we've been doing for a while, and we barely had them out for our first year this year. And we had the representatives from Road Trip Nation present to our whole AVID program this morning, and we also got a tour of their van that they use in their videos. And then on November 2nd, we Heritage High School and the AVID program hosted the AVID NITO, which is New Elected AVID Teacher Orientation, in which they came in the morning and the principal, Mr. Arce, and AVID teachers gave them a presentation about the AVID program, and they got tours later on in that day of our campus in hopes of achieving some of the AVID curriculum and stuff that we use in our curriculum, in hopes to use it at their schools.
Okay. This workshop informs students and parents on the different types of financial aid to assist the graduating class of 2017 attend college.
So the Miracle Worker was a huge success play that was scheduled to be only one weekend, but with its great reviews and sad faces on those who didn't have a chance to see it, the play ran on an extra day.
Band had been working very hard improving as a team at their competitions. This past Saturday, they participated in the Paris Veterans Day Parade. One more cool thing the band is doing is that they are the pep band for the Claremont McKenna College football games.
So the FFA convention in Washington, D.C. and the Halloween Festival, they went on a week trip to nationals, 4 American degrees, and 1 national delegate, Haley Wilcox. Haley got to represent not only Heritage, but all of California as a delegate and vote on rules and bylaws for all of FFA. Those 5 representatives went to Indianapolis and Washington, D.C. as well. It was quite a memorable trip for them, not just an award assembly. For them, it was a trip to visit farms, vet offices, monuments, colleges, and many more sites. From sunrise to sundown, there was so much done, and they are grateful for this opportunity.
College Fair. The 10th Annual District College Fair was held on October 27th. It was an opportunity to meet college representatives and learn about the college admissions and financial aid process to help the students make the right choice and avoid student loan debt. From different military branches to CSUs to UCs and more, it was a great outcome and helpful to our fellow classmates.
So we had a Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, little thing at lunch. It was from one of our clubs, OLA Club. So it's a new club that formed this year, stands for Hispanic Organizing Leadership Alliances. So they set up this ofrenda display to celebrate the Day of the Dead. This is a Hispanic holiday that celebrates those who have passed away. There was music and face painting to add to the celebration.
The Lady Patriots put up a great fight this season. Sadly, it ended so soon. With new faces, techniques, and commitment, they are sure to dominate next season.
We had our football, the Menifee Bowl, as mentioned a little while ago. So with lots of excitement building up to the Menifee Bowl, it turned out to be, again, an incredible night. Paloma put up a good fight, but Heritage brought home the trophy this year. This victory also earned our team the seventh consecutive league championship. A couple of the highlights from the game was that it was aired on television as the game of the week, and one of our cheerleaders was greeted by her father, who had been away on deployment for the last 18 months. It was such a beautiful and heartwarming moment. If you are able to, please join us this Friday for our Round 2 CIF game when we take on San Clemente at 7 p.m.
With help from many teachers and staff, Patriots are getting their FAFSA completed as college applications are coming to a deadline. Our counseling staff is working very hard on making sure we are number 1 in FAFSA completion again this year. FAFSA Fridays are in full effect with students earning raffle tickets for wearing their I'm going to college shirts on Friday. When students have chosen their pathway, complete their college applications at FAFSA, they can check those items off on the back of their shirt.
Here's a list of some of our upcoming events. As always, your support to our school is very much appreciated. From all of Heritage, we want to thank you and wish you a happy Thanksgiving to you and your families. So we have our college application night on November 17th, the alumni dance concert November 19th, the talent show on December 1st, the Cocoa and Cram, which is a Link Crew sponsored event for the freshmen on December 5th and 6th, the Holiday Spirit Week December 5th through 9th, and the Blood Drive December 6th, and the band/choir concert on December 8th, and Ag Cup December 10th.
Thank you.
Trustee Twyman's next.
Okay, from Paloma Valley is Kayla Madrid.
Hi, good afternoon, President Nelson, Board, Superintendent Bennett, and Cabinet. I'm Kayla Madrid, representing from Paloma Valley High School. Last night, seniors were given the opportunity to attend a FAFSA workshop. At the workshop, students and parents were given tips on how to maximize their aid. This sign was set outside both lunches for everyone to write what they were thankful for. We love the positivity from the students and hope to continue to spread kindness amongst each other. This is actually really cool. I signed it somewhere. I don't know where it is, though. Our AVID students visited SDSU and Cal State San Marcos to get a first-hand look at college. This is an important step towards encouraging our Wildcats to get a college degree. For the first time in several years, Paloma has a runner going to CIF finals. Tristan Silva's fifth-placed heat finish qualified him individually to compete this Saturday in the CIF finals and challenge for a spot in the state championships in Fresno on November 26th. So Paloma's season is not over yet. Mr. Heine's, this is his engineering class, but that was the wrong note. Our new laser cutter is amazing. The current engineering class and the classes to come will create some amazing things with this piece of equipment. Paloma Valley High School's World Languages Department celebrated the Day of the Dead on November 3rd, after school from 3 to 5. They had a taco truck and all kinds of fun activities for the families and visitors. There was face painting and music and all kinds of stuff, decorating. Wildcats lost a tough playoff game tonight. Not tonight, wrong note. I'm sorry. Against Martin Luther King High School. The final score was King 45, Paloma 35. The team had a great season and needs to be proud of what they did this year. We want to thank all of the athletes for making us all so proud. And yes, back to the Heritage game. We're very proud of Heritage, and the Paloma boys, despite the loss, they really showed us what it is to have a friendship and a brothership, and we saw them out doing things in the, community. They actually helped, a huge part of the team helped my neighbors move from one house to another. It was kind of cool, so we're actually really proud of our guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Rouse.
Yes, from Paris High School, Melissa Vasquez and Alexandra Vela.
Good evening, President Nelson and board members, Superintendent Bennett and Cabinet. I am Melissa Vasquez, ASB School Board Representative, along with my fellow ASB School Board Rep, Alex Vela. Thursday, November 10th, Friday Night Live and Paris High Panther Stars spread the love by giving out free hugs and kisses that day. It was amazing to see how many smiles they brought out with just one hug to students that needed it, or just in general. The cheerleader challenge. During the halftime of the Paris and Heritage football game, cheerleaders from both schools competed in a giant tire rolling race from end zone to midfield. It was actually quite funny because some of our ASB members fell that during the race. The race was sponsored by Les Swabs of Paris, with a donation of $200 to the winning team and $100 to the second place team. Sadly, we came in second place, but congratulations to Heritage. The most important thing for our cheerleaders was that they made friends with the other school, and now they just have that nice, lighthearted competition with them, I guess. Since Paris is full of talent, our variety show gave the opportunity to those students to show their talents. With the wide variety of acts, it was many of the performers' first time actually getting on stage. That night ended with a 3-song set by a band named Anger and Calypso, with the guest bass player and teacher, Mr. Hayes. Halloween was a festive day. Many students and staff dressed up for the occasion. Students favorited our FFA teacher, Ms. DeBoer, who came dressed as a pretty monarch butterfly.
It was really cute, not gonna lie. And then on November 2nd, we had our school senate, which is a wide range election of appointed students from all participating 7 periods for the second time. So they all met up. Topics from the first meeting were addressed, including student lunches and the unequal distribution from boys to girls' bathrooms. Fun fact, we're taking away a boys' bathroom for us, which is, pretty fun, too. Anyways, the Senate also requested a day to look at the distribution of food between lunches, as some items do run out during second lunch, and a more expanded vegetarian menu. So now we get to my favorite thing. We gotta hold the applause because Drama Club presents Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that's gonna be December 2nd and 3rd. You are all invited to come. You can watch us not only do British accents, but I mean, who doesn't want to see me? Right? So that's going to be at 7 p.m., but then Saturday we are going to have a matinee show at 1 p.m. Paris football made the playoffs for the first time in 14 years, so that was super exciting. And now we have a winning record over the last 3 years combined. Unfortunately, we went out in the first round, but we're very thankful for the large dose of not only the school spirit from us, but just the support from everybody around, including Coach Dowdy and the coaching staff. Now we're going to talk about teen safe driving, and ASB wraps up a month-long program with the Nonprofit Safety Center and the Allstate Foundation. The goal was to reduce teen-distracted driving. Specific bad habits were identified in an observation study, and the marketing campaign that included various activities to bring attention to the issue that was created. Now, this isn't just for teen safe driving, because I know some of you used your phone too, but that's another story. So, in conclusion, if you do run into Miss Gartell, please congratulate her on being our Teacher of the Month. And also to one of my friends, Stephanie Guzman. She got Student of the Month. And that concludes it. Thank you so much for your time.
Trustee Cooley.
From Pinacati, Sierra Mingo Gaines and Angeles Robles.
Good evening, President Nelson, members of the school board, members of the cabinet, and Mr. Bennett, sorry. I'm Sierra Mingo Gaines, the ASB president, and with me tonight is
Angeles Robles, ASB vice president.
And I'm Fabian Guerrero, ASB 8th grade rep. This is the first year Pinacati held the two teams for flag football and two teams for girls volleyball, A team and B team. We had a huge turnout of students wanting to play fall sports. There are over 200 sports jackets processed for the fall, and we ended up with season 42 athletes having 3.0 or better GPA at the 12-week grading period.
We had the flag football team ended up with 1 win and 3 losses. This team consisted of a lot of students the first time playing organized sports. Great groups of kids who practiced and played hard.
B team head coach Alfonsi Winters. Season wins 1, losses 3. 3 scholar athletes with 3.5 or better GPA. Christian Havens, Edgar Chamu, Christopher Rivera. 4 scholar athletes with 3.0 or better GPA. Jose Chamu, Adam Flores, Richard Marquez, Brian Roman Penaloza.
Flag football A team head coach Hashman Coley. 1 win, 9 loses. 4 scholar athletes 3.0 GPA or better were Anthony Alvarez, Josh Bell, No Cruz, and Max Rivera. The news here is that many of girls and boys got involved with flag football, which gave them an opportunity to stay connected on campus.
Girls volleyball B team head coach David Baker. This team consisted of all first-year players who never played volleyball before. The team really started to get towards the end of the season. Everyone got better. 2 wins and 8 losses.
Scholar athletes with 3.5 or better GPA. Jasmine Ramirez Granados, Miranda Camargo, Amari Ruda, Priscilla Vasquez, Dakota Zamparempa. 3 scholar athletes with 3.0 or better GPA. Daisy Aguilon, Donna Lopez Martinez, and Mahala Berry.
This was our tackle football. Head coach Francis Combs, 3 wins and 5 loses. 11 scholar athletes with 3.0 or better GPA.
Brian Balderas, Damari Bolden, Juan Duarte, London Englander, Sal Gonzalez, Adrian Gillen, Josefat Gutierrez Hernandez, Maximus Martinez, Jesus Ortiz, Brandon Quintero, Conan Tatala.
Overall, the team had a great session. The players got better week to week, and we are looking forward for the returning 7th graders to make a big impact next year as 8th graders. Avid Nuts Berry Farm Night, November 10th, was a great success with 125 students attending. 8th grade Avid went on a field trip to University of San Diego yesterday.
This is our peak of the week.
Sorry for the interruption. The link didn't work. But thank you for listening, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and stay potastic.
Thank you. Trustee Agundes.
From Paloma Valley High School, NJROTC, student reps Richard Herzog Valderas, Brian Lampman, Connor Gibson, and Christian Urquieta.
Good evening, distinguished members of the board, Mr. President of the Cabinet, Superintendent. We are representing Paloma Valley High School's NJRTC unit. I am Cadet Lieutenant Junior Grade Ricardo Herzog Balderas. To my left is Cadet Chief Petty Officer Gibson. To my right here is Cadet Ensign Brian Lampman and Cadet Chief Petty Officer Christian Urquieta. And to start off, we're going to pass it off to Cadet Ensign Brian Lampman to talk about our past, our present, and our future aspirations.
Good evening. I'm Cadet Ensign Lampman. And some of the events that we have done in the past are our big flag ceremony. Our big flag ceremony, the flag that's used is actually used for Charger games, for giant sports events. It reaches from goal field to goal field. That's how big the American flag is that we use. It's a great community service event that we do because for 9/11, that's what we do. We support the giant use of the American flag. It takes 250 people to hold that flag. And out of that 250, 200 of those are our own NJRTC cadets. It's a great honor that we are privileged to have to use that. Another event that we do is color guards. Our local color guards can exceed as far down to Coronado as well as San Diego and around that general area as well. We do the graduations for color guards for the Navy's finest, the Navy SEALs. They handpick us to go and do our colors, present our nation's colors at their graduations for those active duty sailors. Another event that we do as a unit is our basic leadership training. We take freshmen, about 70 freshmen who have never been put in any leadership roles, put under any pressure or anything of that sort. We help train them over a 3-day course, help train them to be better citizens, not only for our program, but for our community and Paris Union High School District. I'm going to pass it on to Cadet Chief Petty Officer Urquieta for the next.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Like the motivated ensign introduced me, I'm Cadet Chief Petty Officer Urquieta. I'm here to talk to you on behalf of community service here at the NJRTC program at Paloma Valley High School. Now, with community service here at our motivated battalion, it has a really big impact. Impact not only in the community, but impact in our ROTC program as a whole. Let me go into depth with this. There's a community service event. We team up with Albertsons. It's a project that they have been doing, and we're honored to help out. We help out local veterans in need for Thanksgiving meals. Now, we've been doing this for 2 weeks this school year, and we have raised over $4,000 to that cause. Now, $100 can feed a family, and that's 40 families right there that we've already helped out, and we are very honored. Now, at this community service event, we have anybody up from NS4s, which is our seniors, all the way from NS1, which is our freshmen or first-year cadets in the program. Standing together at a post helps them build camaraderie, helps them build friendships, and helps them build bonds. This is the part that I was telling you about. It helps us build internally a stronger core, and it helps us help the community as well. Now, another community service event that I like to go into more depth about is Relay for Life. Relay for Life is a 3-day RTC, as a 3-day organization where the community comes to our Paloma Valley High School field, and we camp out there for 3 days. Now, in this community service event, we help raise money and help build more camaraderie throughout the RTC core, and we help raise money for the We help raise money for the community. We help raise money for cancer and those patients that are trying to fight it off. And we are very honored and very proud to say that we can do this. We have maybe over 100 cadets each day help out, and this is very good considering we have gained over 4,200 hours last year, and our goals are set much higher this year. With that being said, I'd like to pass it off to Cadet Chief Petty Officer Gibson, and he's going to be talking about our NJRTC Wildcat competing team.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To reiterate what Chief Urqueta said, I am Chief Petty Officer Gibson. Now, with the NJRTC competing drill teams, we compete in a series of events that includes the state championships and national championships, which is the state championship is held at a varying school each year, and the national championship is held in Pensacola, Florida. Now, we compete in a series of competitions each year, and we are rivaling other teams in an academic test, physical training, which includes push-ups, sit-ups, and sprints, and in close order drill, which includes color guard, our exhibitions, and basic drill teams. Now, with these competitions, we consistently compete at the state level and previously competed at the national level in Pensacola, Florida. And with these competitions, we say that no team has any more or any less than any of us, aside from our work ethic. Now, with that work ethic, there are perfect scores for the teams for a reason. There are perfect scores for these competitions, and so our goal is perfection. Our expectation is perfection, and with that expectation, this year we have started something called the Battle Cats. And the Battle Cats is the name for our competing drill team this year that essentially encompasses the elite of the elite by nature. And so with that, we are putting up to 20 hours of practice per week, waking up and arriving at the school as early as 6:30 for PT, and staying as late as 5 o'clock for drill. Now, with that work, we're setting this expectation, an overall encompassing goal, so that we can go to nationals, and because that is one of our highest expectations and goals that we can go to. And this year, we are poised especially to attend and hopefully give the other teams a run for their money. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Cadet Lieutenant Junior Grade Herzog Balderas.
Good evening again, and I'm just going to talk about the Wildcats being at their finest. In our Wildcat Battalion, we're very honored. We have a new instructor coming to us this year, Commander Thomas Garcia, and we're very honored to have him with us. We also have many things that we do to aid in the cadets' understanding of the world outside of the military, as ROTC isn't really for the military. It's just to make people and make the cadets better citizens overall. So we do different trips, and we have special guests, such as today we had an Air Force recruiter come in. Tomorrow we're going to have an Army Reserve recruiter come in as well. And we also have other people from various and ranging aspects of life that kind of come in and then just educate our cadets on, what the world is going to be like outside of high school and, prepare them to be the leaders of tomorrow. We also believe in a motto of constant and never-ending improvement, because with that we understand that being better doesn't always mean that you could be your best, and being the best doesn't mean that you can't be better. So we always strive for that extra percentage that we could put in. We understand that the deeper you dig, the more you find. So the more we continue to find, the deeper we dig, then it's the better overall for the unit. And with that, we do have something to kind of aid in our demonstration of what we have kind of like for our leadership, one of our leadership mottos that we have, if that's all right if we share it with you.
These cadets are entrusted to my care. These cadets are entrusted to my care. I will train them to the best of my abilities. I will train them to the best of my abilities. I will
Skill! Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. That concludes the student reports. You guys don't have to feel obligated to stay. You may go. All right. We will continue with PSCA President Vicki Mueller.
Good evening, Board President, Board members, Mr. Bennett, and Cabinet. Joan, I have so many fond memories. I was sitting there earlier tonight thinking of you and Bob and remembering being in the halls of Pinacati, and I could always count on you for a smile and a hug. And how I'm going to miss seeing your smiling face. I know. But I just wanted to say thank you for your service to the students and the community of Paris. And we're going to miss seeing you up here. And Ed, I wanted to say thank you also for your service to the students and the community of Paris. You've served them very well. You both deserve a well-deserved retirement and go spoil those grandbabies. And I also want to say, I don't want to take a long time. It's been a long board meeting already, and I've had a long day. But I want to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving. All of you you get the week off, you know. So have a very good Thanksgiving week and spend time with your family and friends and enjoy the week. And we're going to spend the day together tomorrow, so we'll hash out our issues tomorrow. So thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, Vicki. CSCA President Claudia Davis.
Good evening, President Nelson, school board members, Superintendent Bennett, and Cabinet. Well, first off, I'm sure that you all know that Prop 55 passed. Woohoo! It is truly a great victory. Many nights of telephone banking definitely paid off. Right, Vicki? Okay, we have had our second round of nominations for our e-board and negotiations team. The voting will take place at our December chapter meeting / holiday party. Woohoo, party. Okay, Ed, it was nice knowing you. And thank you very much for all the time you've put into our district. It was great seeing you walk through the office upstairs. And I'm glad I made you laugh. Joan, it is a pleasure knowing you. And both personally and professionally. I personally, and on behalf of our chapter, would like to thank you for all the support you've given the classifieds. You will be greatly missed. And remember, we have to have lunch. Thank you very much, and have a great evening. Short and sweet and to the point.
Thank you, Claudia. Okay. Okay. On to the invitation to address the Board of Trustees on agendized and non-agendized items. I do have two here. Any more? Just these two? Okay. Let me say my little spiel here. Okay. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda and non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation, depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. The president may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that the additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. That being said, I have two, both about the same topic, Spear High School program. We'll start with Alex Fairman.
Members of the board, thank you so much for your time, and it's a pleasure to be here surrounded by this community that is so passionate about education. So it was 2013. I was working for the University of Southern California at the time, and I came across these statistics. 70% of the D's and the F's in school are young men. Young men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide in the high school age range, and there are currently over 8 million young men growing up in fatherless households across this country. I knew in that moment I had to do something about that. It was on my heart. I left USC shortly thereafter as a curriculum innovation specialist for them and designed something called the SPEAR program, which addresses a lot of these challenges that young men specifically are facing in this modern time. SPEAR is a complete training for the real world. We have expert instructors that focus on everything from physical health, entrepreneurship skills, social skills, relationship building, mindfulness to lower these stress levels, which, as we all know, can be so high for our students growing up today. We feature an in-person class that can be either a semester or a year long. We do 3 field trips, and it's a life-changing experience. So we've been doing this down the street at Newview Bridge. We've launched our pilot this year. It's been an incredible experience. All of the participants in the program have said this has been their favorite high school class. They have learned so much about themselves and about life, and this process has been incredibly powerful. So there's a ton of different data and results that we're getting, from increased levels of self-efficacy and confidence to boosted grades to higher levels of social skills, and overall an experience that has created something so magnificent. I just want to share it and talk about it. It lights me on fire. So our trainers and the people who run SPEAR have been featured in Entrepreneur Magazine, Inc. Magazine, Men's Health, and a number of other programs and publications that you may be familiar with. And this program has been approved also as a G elective through UCOP. And I want to bring this to as many people as I can. We're going to be creating a girls' version of the program next year because it's been so successful doing this with the young men. And the reason I'm here today is I'm here to invite anyone who's interested from local principals to bring us in from an introductory day. We're going to bring in 3 SPEAR trainers. We're going to create a life-changing day of 3-hour experience that all the participants will walk away with, feeling empowered, having life skills related to finding out who they are, and ways to reduce their stress levels, which will provide immediate benefits for the schools that are involved. But we'll also give them a taste of SPEAR, and those principals who are interested in taking us on and bringing in the program can take the next step. Joshua, a local lawyer, has agreed to sponsor the introduction days for any principals here who are interested, and I'm open to take any and all questions.
Unfortunately, this isn't the question round here, so
Okay.
This is your time to talk, not our time to ask questions.
Great. Well, I think my time is up, yeah?
Okay, yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
And as well in the SPEAR program, Joshua Nagar.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm a local lawyer. My office is across the parking lot here. I sponsor a lot of the school programs locally. In the Bridge, I've done a lot of work with their mock trial. Most recently, I announced the Paris High School football games and whatnot, so I'm really involved in the educational community. I would be more than happy to sponsor SPEAR, tryout for any of the high schools in the Paris district. Two field trips ago, we had a bunch of young men at a sustainable farm in San Diego, teaching them how to work together, not necessarily pushing the benefits of sustainability or farming, but introducing them to something they've not seen before and how to work together as a team. We brought in a Navy SEAL to help direct their efforts. And we brought in a lot of other folks that are pretty high level in what they do. One gentleman, a heavyweight fighter trainer, who doesn't train fighters to fight sort of in the gym with lifting weights and whatnot, but really produces a mindful atmosphere for those that get into the ring. And we brought all those people to bear on this field trip, and it was a transformative experience for these young men. They're already calling it the biggest change to their life that they've had in high school and thus far. So it's a very special program. It's infused with a lot of energy, a lot of goodness, and we think it's just what young men need right now. An analogous program is being started at the university level at the University of Redlands. So we think a lot of nationwide universities are figuring out there is this deficit. We believe we've figured out the equation probably first, and our first program here at Bridge has been an overwhelming success to the point where the board there, Bob McGinty, has asked, how many can you take? How many can you do? I mean, we really only can do about 20 per class to keep the integrity, but they're telling us they want us to run through all of their students, and obviously, that's a lot to ask for. But it's a big program, a big opportunity for Paris. Again, I'm willing to sponsor the first look. If you want to have them out for 3 hours, I'll pay for it. A lot of leaders, if you have like your young leaders come to the opportunity, a lot of athletic folks, your ROTC gentlemen, those are kind of the people, the high achievers, definitely works the best with, as well as the discipline problems, etc. The Bridge has asked us to take a few of their students that they want to expect more from, and we've transformed them. We'll take the good, the bad, the middle, the big, whatever. We're pretty confident that we can change human lives, period. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you have the consent calendar. Do I have a motion? Please vote. Thank you. Introduction of, promoted or new employees.
We do have one this evening. I'm going to let Candace Rains introduce our new employee, or a current employee moving spots.
I'm taking my time while his better half makes her way back in the door. So, it's my pleasure to introduce the new plant supervisor, member of the Maintenance and Operation and Business Services Division, Marvin Farias. If you want to come on up to the podium. I'll just say a couple of words about Marvin, and then I'll let him speak. We're so happy to have Marvin in this district and joining our leadership team. Marvin started in this district as a groundskeeper. He was later promoted to a senior groundskeeper, and about a year and a half ago to an irrigation specialist. And if that's not remarkable enough to move up in positions that quickly, Marvin is one of those guys that's always hungry for more knowledge, more responsibility, and so he took his professional development on himself. He got involved in areas that weren't, in which Grant talked earlier about breaking down silos, and we really appreciate that Marvin has done that. He's worked through going to trainings and became a trainer himself of Google to the other folks in M&O. So we're really proud of you, Marvin.
Thank you. Good evening, board and cabinet. I would just like to thank my family for being here tonight. I would like to thank the board and the cabinet for your support. I would also like to thank Art Fritz for his leadership and all the mentors that I've had along the way. And I look forward to continuing my success, to continue succeeding in Heritage. And it's my goal to always provide support for to education, staff, and as well as the students at Heritage. Thank you.
Want to introduce your wife?
My wife, Kyla, my daughter, Olivia, my two boys, Lorenzo and Santiago. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Okay, we get our presentation on the Kickoff to College event.
Okay. Last month was a particularly busy time in our district with the October 19th kickoff to college and then the October 27th district college fair. They continue to be successful events that help our students with not only information but resources to college readiness. So to give you a fuller understanding about both of the events, our director of curriculum and instructor, curriculum and instruction, Julie Zerold, will give us a presentation on both of those events. Julie?
Good evening, President Nelson, Board, Superintendent Mr. Bennett, and Cabinet. I just want to thank you for this opportunity to share a little bit about the Kickoff to College and the District College Fair. This was probably one of the highlights last year for me as well as this year. Definitely just an exciting time to see that many students involved in their focus on college and career readiness. So as always, we're always trying to connect what we do on our campuses to our LCAP goals. So we're focusing on our LCAP goal number 2, which is the college and career readiness goal. And the purpose of the Kickoff to College event is to increase student awareness to college and career readiness through the use of interactive activities on a district-wide scale. The root of this event really came from our counseling teams. This is something that started last year as an idea that was really created by our counseling staffs. And I think it just is a kudos to them how hard they worked this year to refine some of the things that we did last year that they put together in just a short period of time of 6 weeks last year to having an extended amount of time to prepare for the event. So some of the objectives for the Kickoff to College include increasing the awareness to students about college and career readiness, expose students to college preparation assessments. One of those assessments is the PSAT to support and identify students for acceleration opportunities as well. Provide opportunities for students to explore colleges and careers. Also provide support to our senior students that are filling out college applications. Identify funding sources, so helping students work their way through the FAFSA application or looking at scholarship opportunities. Also educating our students about tools and resources available to them and improve student planning and preparation for their future. We always see that students need to have conversations about their future early and often to encourage them to plan ahead and make sure that they're staying on track. So the event goes all the way down to our 5th and 6th grade students. We have 5th and 6th grade students at CMI. So this year we had 66 students in 5th grade participate in this event, 100% attendance for Mr. Rhodes' 5th graders. 123 6th grade students participated, so 97% of their 6th grade population participated. And they did college exploration activities, career exploration activities, student presentations about career choices, and talking about budget activities. For our 7th graders, they did very similar things at Pinacati. We had 703 7th graders participate, so they had 96% of their students in attendance. You'll see Miss Raines down there in the left-hand corner. She was up there with some of the middle school students. You can see that they were eagerly participating. For our 9th grade students, we had 2,148 9th grade students talking about college and career readiness. For me, that's really exciting to know that many students of ours, starting that early, are having those conversations, looking at college exploration activities, career exploration activities, talking about their 4-year plan, reviewing the A to G course requirements, and college admission processes and activities. You'll see one of the activities they did down in the right-hand corner. They actually created their personal shield, so they researched a college. They also researched career that they were interested in, and they also had to kind of come up with a plan on how they were going to achieve that, and also looking at the cost of how much it would be to go to that particular college. For our 8th graders, our 10th graders, and 11th graders, they had an opportunity to participate in the PSAT. This year, we had an increase of 241 students taking the PSAT this year, and that was an increase of 238 students in the 11th grade taking the test. And so over almost 4,000 students took the PSAT this year. I think one of the things that's exciting to see is more 11th graders taking the PSAT. One of the reasons for that is that shows the increase in our number of students that are meeting the A to G requirements, really encouraging those students to take the PSAT again as an 11th grader, even though they took it as a 10th grader. So this is just a breakdown from the school sites based on the number of students that actually took the PSAT per school site. Then 11th graders that didn't take the PSAT, they focused on a lot of the career exploration activities. They got presentations on career technical education pathways and certification reviews. They had guest speakers. They practiced interview questions. They had presentations on how to fill out a job application. Some of them were even filling out real job applications that they were then going to leave and submit them in the community. So we had applications from many local businesses for them to fill out and help them with that process. Also had the military programs come and speak to the students, as well as take them through some of the physical fitness type activities to get them excited about what their career plans might be. We had 960 11th grade students and 87% attendance for those students. And then our 12th grade activities included filling out college applications. So we had 739 community college applications submitted that day. We had 796 UC or CSU applications started that day, as well as 1,627 FAFSA applications started the process on that day. It's exciting to see. You'll see the student in the middle. She's actually receiving her shirt at Heritage that says, "I submitted my college application." Those students you saw earlier in the Heritage presentation, that they actually have FAFSA for Fridays and get free raffle tickets for wearing their red shirts on Fridays. And so on that day, I believe they had well over 300 students actually pick up their T-shirts that day saying that they submitted a college application. And then as a district, we had grades 5 through 12 participate in this event. We had 9,874 students. We had 92% attendance on that day for this event. In 2016, we had over 40 schools in Riverside County participate in the Kickoff to College. It's pretty exciting to see as part of the Riverside County Collaborative. We have shared our vision here in our district with other districts, and it's exciting to see that this year over 40 schools in the district, or in the county, actually participated in the Kickoff to College event. And then here's just a few photos from the different schools for the day of the event. So you'll see down in the right-hand corner, we had one of our counselors actually share his story with the senior students at Paris High School. They also had a career fair set up in the Paris High gym where they got to talk to different types of military career opportunities, different CTE programs. Here we have our HR department participating in the Kickoff to College. They are all spiriting some of their college shirts. And then here we have down in the middle, that's our workshop at Heritage High School for the students filling out the UC applications. We actually had somebody from the UC system come and support the students as they filled out their applications. And then the back side of that T-shirt that says, "I submitted my college application," that's what the back side of the T-shirt looks like. And then here's just a few of the reflections that we had from some of the students and the feedback that we got. These are always the most fun part for me to actually get to see the students' feedback and how honest they are when they give the feedback. The one in the left-hand corner, my brother and sister got married instead of going to college. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to college first. I think those are real reality checks for our teenage students. I like hearing that I thought it was too late to get myself back on track for college, but now they feel like they can still go and they have a plan. We work with a demographic that they don't have a lot of support at home sometimes, and so it's really exciting to see that we're able to provide that support and the hope for them when they come to school and participate in an event like this. And then here's some of our staff reflections. I think this really brings some of the real stuff to our campuses when the teachers get to experience this with students also. We did give a survey to students, and we had 137 of our staff members complete the survey. Between the very successful and successful with some adjustments, we had about 99% success rate. We only had 1%, which is actually only one person that didn't feel the event was successful. And some of the feedback that we got from some of the teachers was that I had a lot of kids who were just excited for the opportunity to talk about their future. Sometimes we talk a lot about curriculum and they don't get an opportunity to talk about their future, and a lot of our students are nervous about their future. I think this is one of my favorite too, is I had one student who has been a deviant and unfocused all year come to me during the break and say he is now going to hit his reset button and do better the rest of the year. So if this one-day event is something that provides some kind of inspiration and motivation for them to get back on track, I think this is a great success for us, is to see that we're making impacts by having an event like that. And then as a follow-up, the very next week, from kickoff to college, the following week, we actually had our 10th annual college fair at Heritage High School. We had over 700 attendees from all of the schools in the district. We also had community members and kids from other schools attend outside of our district. We put out the invitation to our surrounding districts, as well as put it in the newspaper and advertised to allow other people in the community to attend. We had 23 in-state colleges and universities, 16 out-of-state colleges and universities. I think what was exciting, we had some big-name schools. We had Ohio State, we had Notre Dame, the Ohio State. So it's exciting to see schools from outside of the state also attend. And then we had several students several colleges from the outside of the state that actually provide some different types of resources for students that would actually get to pay in-state tuition if they go through these programs. So I think we brought a lot to the table with the college fair. We increased the number of colleges this year from last year. And I think we got a pretty good handle on getting some of the outsides of the state schools to attend. And really our goal next year is to also include some of those trade schools in a larger capacity to give more opportunities for students. And then here's just a list of the participating colleges and some additional photos from the event. You'll see it was pretty crowded most of the time. We've even had to talk about the consideration of maybe putting it not just in the gym, but also in the NPR so that there's enough space for the amount of foot traffic that we have on that day. It's from 6 to 8, and it's usually about the same week every school year. Thank you very much. Is there any questions? Okay. Yeah, most definitely. I'll write it down as soon as I sit down.
I do want to say that it really took the work of a lot of people, a lot of departments, a lot of divisions, all the sites to make this happen, but in particular, the leadership that Julie demonstrated in order to to actually have this come about, and the success that it has in multiple years is, she's really to be commended for that. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. Okay. Next one is an information item on the monthly suspension report. We have an action item on superintendent's contract. Can I have a motion, please? Okay. Any questions on this? No? I think we've been over it enough. Please vote. Thank you. And the next one is an action item for the assistant superintendents. So I have a motion, please. So moved. Any questions on these? No? Okay, please vote. Thank you. All right. More information on the college readiness block grant.
Okay.
Come on back up, Julie.
We're really excited about the direction that we're moving in as a district with regard not only to our CTE programs, but also our distinct focus on college and career readiness. And while we're making strides in ensuring that our students are college and career readiness, there's still a lot of work to be done. The Paris Union High School District's been granted significant funding to help us address some of our continuing needs, and that's what Julie is going to talk about. Thanks, Julie.
All right, so you should have two packets regarding the block grant. So the first one is the actual presentation of the block grant, and then I also included some additional data that I didn't think that everybody needed to see that extensive amount of data, but I did want to know you to know that that's some of the data that we've been using to look at some of our growth areas. So the purpose of the College Readiness Block Grant is to increase and improve services for unduplicated pupils to ensure college readiness. So again, connected to our Goal 2 of our LCAP. What is really important for us to start to think about is as we move into the new accountability system, college and career readiness is going to be a big piece of this. It is going to be one of the indicators for our new accountability system. They're still trying to narrow down some of the specifics. So you'll see right now there's two categories. For a while there was actually an additional category. So right now we have prepared and approaching prepared. Before they actually had very prepared, but it was difficult for them to be able to articulate what very prepared actually meant. And there was some challenges because there was some missing pieces when it came to career readiness. There's definitely a lot of college readiness attributes in this, but not very many when it came to the career technical side of things. So I think that there's still going to be some changes, but I think that some of the key areas are definitely included in here right now. So just wanted to front load that this is what we're preparing for, and this is going to take effect in 2019-20 is when the new accountability system will be in place. So the College Readiness Block Grant, the amount that we were awarded was $904,579. The metrics that we'll be using to measure our success with the use of the funds is the A to G completion, AP participation and success, CT enrollment and pathway completion, dual enrollment and success in the dual enrollment programs, ELA and math SBAC success, PSAT, SAT, and ACT success will be included, graduation rate, FAFSA completion, and college application completion and acceptance. So you'll see that there's some very detailed metrics that we're going to be looking at to measure how we're using the funds. So some of the ways that we'll be using the funds, professional development for our staff, so not just our counselors, but for teachers and administrators to improve our A to G completion rate, parent and student workshops to help with college applications, FAFSA, and DREAM applications, support materials for college entrance assessments, preparation and support for high-stakes college entrance assessments, college career readiness classroom activities, which is kind of an extension of what we've been doing with the Kickoff to College, data-driven intervention implementation to support A to G completion and graduation, AP dual enrollment pass rate. I think we're seeing a nice spike in our enrollment in AP as well as dual enrollment, but we really want to make sure that we're putting the supports in place for students to be successful when we're pushing them in that rigorous curriculum. Collaborative partnerships with the UCs and the CSUs in our community, community college and four-year visits, as well as CTE pathway and implementation and support. So as we were looking at how we wanted to spend the money and what were some of the important things that we saw as kind of the red flags, so we've seen some increase in our students' A to G completion rate, but we've also seen that when we have a projection of what we should see, we're still missing some of our students. So this chart kind of shows we had, for example, at Heritage, we had 284 students complete the A to G requirements, which is 47% of the senior class, but 59 students that were on track at the beginning of their senior year were not successful at the end of the year. So for us, that's a concern that there's students that are starting off their senior year on track, but missing the mark for one reason or another. It might be not doing well in a certain course, or it might be that they choose not to want to take the course. We see some of that when it comes to Algebra 2, so it's really making sure that we're not allowing students to take the easy way out. Sometimes it's the success in those classes, and maybe they need additional support. And so if we're pushing them to take Algebra 2 and math is not their strong suit, what kind of supports are we going to put in place to make sure that they are successful when we're pushing them to take that rigorous curriculum? So last year, potentially, you'll see that all of our schools had a higher projection as far as how many of their students could have met the A through G requirements, but how many didn't. So that's a big focus area of ours, is to make sure that those students that weren't successful were able to catch those kids. This is the graduation rate for our alternative sites, students serving a different population, but making sure that we're addressing the needs of those students as well when we look at their college and career readiness planning. So these are some of the metrics that we've talked about when we gave our summer updates, but just to recap, you'll see that we've done a pretty good job of showing an increase in graduation rate over the last several years. You'll see that this 2015-16, this is just an estimate, and it's not based on our cohort data. So we imagine that it will drop slightly, but we are optimistic about seeing some big improvements this year with our graduation rate as a district. Our high school metrics for A to G completion. Here we have the breakdown of the different school sites, the comprehensive high schools. You'll see that we've shown a big increase within the district, 5% from last year to this year as a district. And then you'll see some big gains to the comprehensive high schools. Also, when we were looking at some of the data and looking at individual students, we've also realized that there's some issues with making sure that we're supporting students that are coming into our district. We get a lot of students that come into our district later in their high school careers, and not all of them are on track to meet the A to G requirements when they get to us. But I think for our standpoint, we want to make sure that they always leave us better than they came. So if we can get them back on track to meet the A to G requirements, pushing them to take recovery classes to ensure that they are able to at least have that opportunity, that's also one of our goals. And then I have it just broken down by our demographic. When you look at the A to G completion, you'll see that a lot of the other metrics I included in your other data slides. Just didn't want to take you through each data slide. In the presentation, we'd be here a long time. So if you look at this slide, the orange is good, the blue is not so good. And so our goal is obviously to improve that by increasing the amount of orange up there. And so we have the graph up on the left-hand corner, that's the overall population. And then on the right side, you'll have it broken down by ethnicity, EL, and socioeconomically disadvantaged, as well as our special ed students. So we have that for all of our schools. So you'll see that there's definitely some gaps when you see that only one of our EL students met the A to G requirements at Paloma Valley. We want to make sure that we're addressing the needs. They do have a smaller population there, but because they have that smaller population, we should be able to do a lot more with that opportunity also. And then at Paris High School, we would like to see that improvement in overall A to G completion. And then when we look at our alternative sites of Paris Lake and the Academy, we want to make sure that we're improving the amount of courses that the students have access to A to G coursework, the rigorous coursework, the opportunities that the comprehensives have. And one of those things that we want to address also is the ability to provide more CTE pathways for students. Currently at our alternative locations, they don't have very many opportunities for some of the CTE courses, so improving the offerings at our campuses for CTE. And this is just the metrics in comparison with the county as far as our students with the EAP success in English and math. We looked at this a couple months ago in our summer updates. You'll see that there's always some improvement that we want to see. We're kind of hanging in the middle with the other schools or the other districts surrounding us. So also being able to focus on the interventions to improve that college readiness. And math is definitely one of our focus areas. I think that's kind of a district-wide, a county-wide, a statewide issue when it comes to the success of students. So looking for new ways to support students in their success in math. And then FAFSA completion, we've talked a lot about FAFSA. We're really excited that the the window opened as early as it did, with it opening October 1st, our students have had a lot longer opportunity to be able to get their FAFSA submitted. We are seeing some good numbers already. I know I've heard from 2 of the comprehensives already that are well over 150 applications submitted. So we're excited to see some large growth again this year when it comes to FAFSA completion. And so as far as how we plan on using the funds for our the College and Career Readiness Block Grant, we really have a focus on the students' needs as far as interventions and supports for students. When we're looking at those types of supports, we really feel like somebody that can focus on those interventions is going to be really important for our students. So our proposal for the budget, the grant money, is to have 3 college and career readiness counselors that focus on those metrics that we talked about, as well as those focus areas of helping students not fall off, providing those supports to ensure that they have those interventions before they get too far behind. We're exploring some different opportunities with our data system. We have some great data systems that allow us to pull reports and track students, and hopefully we'll be able to catch the students a little bit quicker because of some of the tools that we have access to. We also have some money set aside for materials and supplies to support those interventions, as well as outside support from partnerships, being able to take students on college trips, not just, we would like to provide every student an opportunity to at least visit one college throughout their high school career. So, and that's kind of the overview of how we plan on spending the block money. But then we want to make sure that we have a solid plan in place before we roll those 3 new positions out, and looking at starting a position second semester for a counselor to develop a plan for what that would look like for the following year. And that's not coming out of the grant money. That is actually some money from supplemental and concentration dollars. Is there any questions?
Differs.
I just wanted to add that the 3 kids that are out in Colorado going to college, they are so terrified and they're so scared that the 3 of them are like clumped together everywhere they go. 3 go, because they just had no idea what college was all about. No exposure. Yeah, just absolutely.
And I think the more opportunities we have to expose them to college, expose them to students that have gone to college. Right. I know one of the most influential things that we have happen on our campuses is students that have gone away to college and come back as guest speakers to our 9th grade freshman foundations classes or our AVID classes to come and share their experiences. It sounds much different coming from another student compared to an adult. We can say those things to them multiple times, but it sounds different for students to hear it from another student, and those personal experiences and what to be prepared for. I think it's really important that they know that they can be successful and they don't need to be afraid to go away to college. Because I think that some of our community, because they don't have a lot of exposure to it, they're a little bit more hesitant to go away to college because of that uncertainty and not knowing how to navigate.
I just have a comment, Ms. Hiro, and I just want to say thank you for your leadership and to accomplish these excellent services that we are providing to our students. Right. I'm really pleased on seeing the data that we have here, and that is the objective of the data, right? To take action upon that. For example, if we just talk about in our district, we had 7.5 or 7.8% increase on A through G completion, but like we started doing this last year, and thank you for continuing to do this, we noticed that Heritage High School has this percent, Paloma Valley, but if you notice, we have Paris High School with a 3.5% decrease, right? And there is nothing wrong with that. What we need to do is analyze what are we going to do about it, right? Yeah. That is the important thing. Something that called my attention that you mentioned, you didn't want to go in more detail in terms of the desegregation. That's okay if we go in more detail. It doesn't matter if it takes us 20 or 30 more minutes during the board meeting. And let me tell you why. Because in the same way that we are identifying this specific need, overall 7.5, but we have a 3.5 here, what can we do about this? we have at Heritage High School, for example, 53.45% of the students completed the A through G. I'm really interested in knowing what percent of my African American students are not completing that. Maybe it's 85%, maybe it's 25%. What percent of my Hispanic students are not completing the A through G? You know, because it's embedded there. So if we can identify those subgroups, and then we can decide what can we do to support those students, because they might have specific needs, right? So what is what we're going to do? So thank you very much for preparing this. And it's okay we go in more depth because we can help those students that way.
I think I got up to like slide 42 when I was first putting it together, and that's why we pulled out some of the data. We would have been here a long time if we would have gone through all the data slides. But
I suggest you have a special board meeting to do that.
Don't listen to him. He doesn't have to sit through a special board meeting anymore.
I'll make sure I send you an invitation. Hey, I'm all for it. I'll dissect the data any day. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, information item on revised high school course, Shakespeare. Meets A to G requirement. Information item on revolving cash report. Still revolving, still has cash. Information item on board policies, series 0,000. Information item on board policies is series 9,000. Adjourn to closed session if necessary.
Not necessary.
Thank you. Okay, I have an action item for board review of discipline matters. Do I have a motion? Any questions on this one? Nope. Okay, please vote. Thank you. Other items by the superintendent?
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Other items by the Board of Trustees, Dr. Rouse, Ms. Twyman, Ms. Cooley, Mr. Agundes.
All I got to say is thank you, and we'll be seeing you around then. Take care.
And for me, I'd like to extend my gratitude to both of you guys because I came on the board 4 years ago and knew absolutely nothing, and I had to learn quite quickly, but you guys were great teachers, and along with Ms. Twyman and Bill Holstrom, who was here, which I talked to him 2 years ago when he left the board, but I really want to say thank you for all your information, advice, guidance, wisdom, all that stuff I've gotten from you guys over the last 4 years. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being the board president for 2 years. That's in a row. I think that is a great accomplishment.
Okay. Thank you. And motion for adjournment?
Second.
You'll notice it was just Joan and Ed today. They had to get their last ones in, huh?
It was their show.
Yeah, their show tonight. Okay, please vote. All right. We are adjourned for this one at 7:18. We still have to go back to one more. Okay, we will reconvene the CMI meeting at, it was 7:18, 7:20. Invitation to address the Board of Trustees on closed session items only. Do I have any takers? None. Okay, motion to adjourn to closed session. Okay, please vote. All right, we are adjourned at I should have lied about the 719. Yeah. 7:21. We are adjourned. Okay. Just be going. I was waiting for Carolyn to be ready to go. Okay, we are reconvening at 7:33. Motion for adjournment. All right, please vote. No, Jose hasn't either. There we go. Okay, we are adjourned 7:34. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies.